If I had to hit $30,000 a month as a coach, this is exactly what I do, because $30,000 a month is the most important number to hit within your coaching business, and 10,000 a month is the worst possible goal that you could have if you were a coach, and I'm going to explain why. You see, one of the biggest problems coaches have right now is they don't know how to scale to consistent $30,000 months. Now, what I want to do is explain to you real quick why $30,000 a month is so important. I'm going to give you the 3 biggest mistakes I see coaches making right now trying to scale their coaching business. It's literally holding them back. It's literally like you see those NFL players or whatever wearing like a parachute and they run for resistance, or, you know, what athletes and stuff, and it's holding them back. This is what a lot of coaches are doing. And I want to share with you the 3 things most coaches are doing wrong. Then I'm going to share with you exactly what is working now. And if I had to start all over again, exactly what I would do. Okay. Now, before we get into it, my name is Jason Nyback. I've been in the coaching coaches who coach coaches and, coaching consulting industry since 2005. Before that, I was a pastor in Canada. I since have moved to Las Vegas, Nevada with my wife and kids. And when I was, after being a pastor, I transitioned into helping hundreds upon hundreds of churches move online way back in 2005, and then evolved into the coaching consulting space. So I've coached well over 1,000 people, spent millions on ads on my own for my own stuff, and I know what's going on, and I share this with you for free here on YouTube. So click subscribe, and you're going to get all my updates, because you never know when one of these videos might be the exact thing that you need to help get your coaching business to where it needs to go. Now, so here's what we want to do. What is the biggest problem with $10,000 a month? Here's the problem. $10,000 a month is not a goal. $10,000 a month is a mile marker. Okay. I can promise you this, when I started out, and here's why. In 2003, I was like working part-time, and we were helping all these churches, and we were helping some businesses and stuff like that. And what happened is I was like, I remember telling my wife, Doreen, someday we're going to make 10,000 a month. And it was like, couldn't imagine that there was like any more possibility to need any money. I mean, at the time in 2003, everything was cheap. And here's what you got to realize. If your whole goal is 10,000 a month, you take a few thousand a month out for ads, maybe some coaching, some tools, some this, some that. I mean, you're left with like $3,000-$4,000, right? I mean, might as well just work at Starbucks. At least they give you benefits, right? So 10,000 a month is not a goal. It is a mile marker. Okay. Now let's talk about the 3 biggest mistakes most coaches are making that are holding them back from hitting $30,000 months. The first one is organic first. Here's what you need to realize. Organic is not a strategy when you're starting out. Now, if you're a coach and you're getting clients like word of mouth, and you're kind of hustling, maybe you're going to some chamber of commerce events, that kind of stuff, networking, and then you're kind of doing some stuff, getting some referrals and stuff like that. That's good. That's great. Obviously, that's not going to scale, but at least it's going to get you somewhere. But the biggest problem mistakes coaches are making is that they're spending too much time on organic content creation when they don't have a lot of momentum. Here's why this is a bad thing. ChatGPT, Claude, Google Gemini 3. What's happening is you're no longer creating content that competes against other coaches. You're creating content that's competing against the most powerful and sophisticated machines in the history of the universe, okay? And you can't keep up. So what's happening is organic reach is dropping. So what I mean by that is, for example, I've got about 9,600 connections on LinkedIn. They're all legitimate because you got to approve them all, so for the majority of them, right? Well, if I put a post, like for example, I'll put this video up there and say, hey, go watch this video on YouTube or whatever. It's super awesome. It'll change your life. Out of my 9,600, that post will get seen by about 100 people. Okay. Think about that. All right. On Instagram, for example, if you put a post out and you have 1,000 followers, there's a very good chance it's going to get seen by 1 or 2%. And so organic reach is going down because so much content is coming on the platform that your stuff can't get seen. So you are not going to get enough traction in order to make it work first organic. So that's the first mistake coaches are making, and it has nothing to do with you. You might be the greatest coach ever in your industry, but the problem is you cannot compete against a machine that is pumping out more content than ever before. The second problem that I see coaches, the mistake coaches make that are holding them back from those $30,000 months is low ticket to high ticket. Everybody wants to make money off low ticket because you get some passive income, you get people into your membership program, into your school group or whatever that you charge for. And then, they give you some money and then so you send them to high ticket. So here's the deal. I live in Vegas. Like I said, I'm from Canada. I'm from Edmonton originally. And I live in Vegas. Now, there's a couple types of hotels. Like if you go to the Strip, if you've ever been on the Strip, there's the Wynn, which is, probably the most high end. There's other ones that are higher end, but it's pretty high end. And then down the street to the north, you have Circus Circus. So it's kind of the low end, right? Circus Circus, $30 a night. The Wynn, you stay on a Friday, Saturday night, probably $500 to $1,000 a night if you want a strip view. Those people don't cross-pollinate. Okay. Nobody at Circus Circus is like, wow, why didn't we stay at the Wynn? This was so stupid. I didn't even know it existed. Why? $1,000 a night. We could have done that. Here we are paying $30 a night. It doesn't exist. Nobody at the Wynn's like, geez, why did we waste $1,000 a night on this hotel when we could have stayed down there for the hotel that's $30 a night? It doesn't exist, and it's no disrespect. That's the beauty of what Vegas has done. They've created something for every economic pocket. Same thing in your market. Just because somebody gives you $7 doesn't mean they're going to give you $5,000. Very likely, they could be a $7 buyer where they're just like, wow, I paid $7 for this. This better be good, right? And that's the problem you got to understand. Also, with low ticket, it is harder to sell low ticket than it is high ticket because you have to be an extremely good copywriter. And also, it is extremely hard to make it work on ads, the math to work. I would not recommend doing low ticket to anybody unless you're making at least 20, 30, 40,000 a month already, and then do it within your ecosystem. Okay. It's extremely hard. It's extremely time consuming. There's a massive amount of technology involved. There's so many variables, and you got to be careful because you will also could potentially trigger a lot of the wrong people who are never going to give you multiple thousands of dollars anyways. And you're not going to make the math work on low ticket only unless you're an A-list influencer somewhere out there. All right. So it's not going to, and you have 200,000 followers. Okay. Do not do low ticket first. You can do it once you start making a pile of money and you got people in your ecosystem, huge email list, and start doing low ticket there. Now, third mistake coaches are making that is holding them back is video sales letter funnels with ads. They're taking ads, driving them straight to videos, driving them straight to book a call this, book a call that, all that. It's not working. The reason it's not working is because the market sophistication has gotten too high. The average person seeing those videos has seen hundreds of them. Okay. And so they don't trust you. They don't believe you. It's nothing against you. They're not disrespectful to you. It's just sort of like the general, how people feel about, say, an injury lawyer or something like that. You're kind of like, the whole industry has a bad reputation because of some bad people, and I'm sure there's some good ones, right? But it's the same thing that's going on here. Coaches generally just sort of have a bad reputation because they often overpromise, all that kind of stuff. And so people are going to watch your video sales letter and be like, I don't know if that's me. I don't know if I should. There's not enough power in these videos and stuff like that to get qualified people. You're going to get call bookings. They're going to be garbage quality. They're going to be very needy people. They're going to be just looking for free stuff. They're not going to want to buy. It's just going to be a total train wreck. So do not do that. It's not going to work. So what do you do? What would I do if I wanted to hit 30,000 a month? Why do I keep saying that? Because I can't guarantee you're going to hit 30,000 a month. You might do everything I tell you and you might lose 30,000 a month. I don't know. I don't know you. So this is what I would do. There's three things that's working in 2026 better than ever. The first thing you need to do is you need to be in a non-aspirational segment of your niche. This is very important. If you miss this, nothing else will work and you'll just get broke people for the rest of your business career. What does this mean? Non-aspirational niche. One of the biggest problems is coaches are in niches where they're attracting people who are aspirational. Let's use the weight loss niche, for example, because it's something we all know, everybody knows. And let's say middle-aged women, 45 plus, who are trying to help, you're a coach helping women lose weight, something like that. It's a great niche, tons of room in it. You see all these people. I see coaches all the time. Yeah, are you a busy professional, working woman, trying to lose 30 pounds, blah, blah, blah. Terrible angle. And the reason why is because you're going to get a lot of women maybe who are unemployed. Maybe you're stressed out. Maybe you don't have any money. And be like, well, I'm not that person, but I would like to be. And that could work for me too. For example, one of the problems that I have with our Skool community is we're constantly getting realtors join our Skool community. We're like, it doesn't work for realtors. We don't specialize in realtors. And realtors have a very specific strategy they need to follow. And there's a lot of laws around the Fair Housing Act, around realtors and ads and stuff like that. We don't go there. We don't help them. It's not our specialty, but they keep signing up. And it's frustrating because then our pixel thinks we're attracting realtors. And so we got to fix all that. And so that's the biggest thing you got to do is stay out of these aspirational niches. So what do you do instead? You need to tighten up your niche to specifically women 45 plus, making 200,000 a year, working 60 hours a week, who already have a personal trainer, but it's not working. So when I go far enough in, I'm not going to reach those aspirational people who are not qualified. They're going to look at that ad, for example, be like, that's not me. And they're just going to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So the secret is you want to get those people. And even if you don't get those people, your targeting is also designed to block the aspirational people. So you may be like, well, I can help women making 150,000 a year who don't have personal trainers. That's not the point. You're missing the whole point. The whole point is we go so deep in the market that it blocks out the aspirational people. You see what I'm trying to do there? Where they're like not even interested, so they don't click your ad. They don't come into your stuff, pollute your pixel, all that kind of stuff, right? So that's the point. The point isn't only to reach those people. The point is to make sure we repel the wrong people. So that's the first thing you need to do. And you need to make sure you're doing that. If you're not, your ads are going to get all these aspirational people. What do? Number 2, it plays into, you need to use a proper ads AI strategy now. Like I said, ChatGPT is out creating content like you cannot compete. Okay. So you need a proper AI ad strategy. What does that mean? What that means is you're going to start small. And because you're going into a non-aspirational niche, you should have better results. Now, start $10, $20 a day. That's totally fine. But that's where I'm going to start. And I'm going to override everything. Everything that's automated in the ads manager, you need to override it. You need to uncheck all the boxes. Do not let Facebook's AI tell you what to do. Okay? Because Facebook's AI in their ads manager is designed for Facebook, not for you. And we're constantly having to override everything because we need qualified people. For example, if I'm selling this pen, let's say it's $50. I don't know how much it is, but let's say it's $50. I don't really care who's buying this pen. So I'm going to use all of Facebook's automations, drive as many people as possible. If the sales conversion rate of this pen just keeps doing good, great. We'll just keep doing it, right? But the problem, if you're a coach, you need actually people with money because the relationship starts after the transaction of the money, where the relationship is done after the transaction of this pen, right? Give me the money, you get the pen shipped out to you. I'll never talk to you again, right? Or until I try and sell you a new pen. But with coaching, the relationship starts after the money transacts. So you need to have qualified people. So you need to be overriding everything. Now, the third thing is super important. And this is what's changed in 2026 big time. Number 3, we need to have a belief shifting trust flywheel. Okay. Here's the biggest thing that you need to understand as a coach. Educational content is not working to get coaching clients anymore. Okay. Because why? 3 reasons. Number 1, 95,000 pieces of content, or 95 million pieces of content are being produced on Instagram every day. Number 2, 800,000 hours of videos are uploaded on YouTube every day. Number 3, 2.5 billion queries are happening on ChatGPT alone. Plus Claude, plus all these other ones, plus Gemini 3, all this other stuff. Okay. And supposedly Gemini 3 is supposed to be taken off, but I don't know. I'm not an AI connoisseur like a lot of people are. It's just whatever. It's just a tool. My point is this. Okay. Your ideal client does not need more education. Your ideal client does not care about your secrets. Your ideal client does not believe you have the secrets. They don't care. They're already overwhelmed. And so by you dumping more secrets and techniques and this and giving them all the value you can possibly give them, all it's doing is it's overwhelming them. For example, when I go to Costco and they have the veggie spring rolls, I love veggie spring rolls, and it's early, it's 8 o'clock, they're just putting them out and there's nobody around. I'm eating like 3 or 4 of them, right? And then the samples, and then the lady's like, hey, it's half price, here's a coupon, it's right behind me in the freezer. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of full of veggie spring rolls right now, and I don't buy them ever, right? Never bought them before, ever, but I'll eat them all, I'll eat all the samples, right? And that's the same kind of thing. When you give them too much educational content, you're overwhelming them. So what we need to do is we need to bring them into a belief shifting flywheel. And this belief shifting flywheel does a couple things. Remember, you have to create, in a way, your propaganda machine. And you need to have the mindset that your ideal client is overwhelmed. They're watching all kinds of videos. They're seeing every other ad. They're booking calls with competitors. Most likely bought coaching programs. Those coaching programs sucked and they got terrible results because the quality was garbage. They're hypersensitive to AI garbage content. And so once you have that, it's not trying to fearmonger. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to give you a realistic view of what the psychology is in your ideal client's brain. And so we take that and we put it into a flywheel ecosystem. So we're giving them high value short form content, high value long form content. We're hooking them in. We're retargeting them with different types of ads. That's why we have what we call the mini celebrity status ads. For example, right now, in my ad account, anybody who joins our Skool community will see our ads on average of 10 times per month. Here's the secret. When they're in my ecosystem, or somebody's in my ecosystem, I might spend a few $100s a month on those ads, okay? Just those ecosystem ads, because I'm trying to shift people's belief systems. I'm trying to help them understand why there's a better way, why this is different, why you should try this. And they're super cheap ads, and they all eventually lead to call bookings. And we have a call booking rate of almost 40% of anybody who gives us an email address ultimately books a call to chat with us, okay? Very few people in this whole industry have anywhere near close to that. And again, we're not doing educational content. So that's what you need to do. If you do this, what's going to happen is, number one, you're going to get non-aspirational people who are qualified. And number two, you run a proper AI ad strategy that repels those people with your ads, goes into the right audience. Remember, you're not looking for the pen buyer. You're looking for the high ticket person who has the money. And by doing those things, it's going to help get you those. And then number three, we're going at your messaging with a psychological strategy of, hey, they're overwhelmed. There's this happening. They're seeing this. They're looking at this. These are the objections they have. These are the reasons they don't want to buy. These are the concerns they have. And we're creating a content ecosystem that actually shifts their belief systems around all those kinds of things. And then you become seen as the only option, the best option, and the one they want to work with. All right. So that's what I would do if I was going to scale to $30,000 a month fast. Okay. So here's what you need to do. You need to do this because guess what? What I just explained to you is working really good in 2026. It's early in 2026, but it's been working since 2024 because the whole funnel model has shifted because the ideal client has so much going on in their head that's not working as well. So what I want to do is we want to help you free call. It's a 15-minute mini celebrity status ads ecosystem call. You just click the link below, you book in with us, and we're going to help you map this out and figure out what to do. There's nothing for sale. It's only 15 minutes. I really can't sell you much in 15 minutes, right? So it's free call. Only for people in our Skool community, which I'm assuming you are. If you're not, there's a link down below to join. And book that call, and we're just going to help you map out what does your belief shifting trust flywheel look like? How does the mini celebrity status ads ecosystem look like? How can you shift their belief systems? How do you get into a non-aspirational segment of your market? What is the best AI strategy? How to hook all this together? How to avoid all these pitfalls? It's a super powerful call. We've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these. And it's extremely helpful because just figuring it out all on your own is really hard because the problem is you don't know what you don't know. That's why I spent hundreds and hundreds of thousands on coaching, not to help me do better at what I already know. I want to know what I don't know that I don't know that I don't know. And that's what I want to get to. And I talk to coaches all the time who are stuck and they're still spending all their time doing more of what they think they need to do because they've invested in something that taught them a bad strategy, but they feel obligated to see it through. And I'm like, you just are doing something that's not working by doing it longer and harder and more. It's only going to work less. Not only is it's going to hit the law of diminishing returns, you're missing out on all this over here of what you could be getting, where you could be going. So don't do that. I see it all the time with coaches. One of the biggest things I see is the biggest frustration I have as a coach, watching people who have implemented a bad strategy want to see that bad strategy through. It makes no sense. Don't do that, because that's a psychological response to it's less risky to pursue something that isn't going to work but might work because I've invested in it, then go, hey, here's what makes sense. Let's do that. That's the less risky way, but you're having to deal with to override your subconscious brain, right? It's a constant battle where your brain's like, hey, this is the safe way. It's going to work. It's going to just trust me. I'm your subconscious brain, where it's like, no, this is the right way. We have to go all in on this. And that's what I'm telling you need to do. That's what I'm seeing from spending millions of dollars on ads, working with well over 1,000 coaches in all the niches. This is what I'm seeing is working in 2026. And hopefully you can get it working for you to start scaling to those $30,000 months. All right. So you can click the link in the description to book your call with us, or join our free Skool community, or it's in the pinned post. All right. Get to work and get implementing those things.